Cynic back again, and as always, thanks for the great submissions we got this week for the Sword Fight compilation. To get started here, I want to go ahead and give a little apology to Super Moo Moo, if I'm pronouncing that right. He submitted for the inventory compilation, but the submission came in kind of late, and I interpret it as being for this one, so I went ahead and left it in this one, as you know, just to go ahead and have it out there. But it was meant for the inventory compilation, so I apologize for that, and sorry for any confusion that you guys may have had when you saw that submission. It did have some fighting though, so it wasn't necessarily, out of the theme. It was just, not meant for this one. Alright, so there's really not much I could really comment on about things to improve on other than the usual stuff. One that I keep bringing up is pretty much the cinematography, the camera movements. One thing that seems to be a pretty common issue is the movement of the camera. So in a lot of scenes, I'm noticing where you're looking at a character and they're doing something or whatever, and then you want to show, oh, this character's over here or something is over here doing something. And basically what it looks like sometimes, not all of you guys, of course, but this is a common issue I've noticed in a lot of beginner animations, is like, say you'll have the camera, let's just have it start out over here. We're looking at Steve, and we want the super dramatic, like, hey, we're gonna go look over at the sword that he wants to pick up because he's looking at it, and then we want it to come back at him. I think I'm putting the keyframes in the wrong places here, so we're gonna do that, and then we want to look back at him at this point. So what you get is something that looks like this. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Something like that. So you get this like really quick motion, it doesn't linger, and the camera's kind of just flying around very willy-nilly. And pretty much what I always say, for instance, for this move, you may want it to zoom to the item here, but then you want it to cut back to Steve. So once again, on this one right here, this keyframe where it goes to the sword, we're going to go ahead and change the transition to instant. So what you get then is it zooms over, it holds, and then it switches back. But of course, there is another issue with this, and that is the timing. So your timing is going to be the distance between keyframes. So if I want it to linger on that longer, then I need to move this keyframe out further so that this distance here is going to be longer, and thus the shot lasts longer. So we get that pause, and then we cut back to Steve, and it helps to really give the viewer some time to comprehend what's going on, and it gives some logic to the camera movements. And another way that you can adjust your timing, or not really adjust it, but keep up with it. So up here you have these numbers, right? And the top number is what current timing you're at in the scene, where your cursor is, and the bottom number, I believe, is the maximum length of your animation. So basically the length of your animation is the last keyframe that you insert. So let's just say if I wanted this animation to end here, but I want it to linger on his face so I can do like a fade out in my video editor. Well, I'm just going to add like a random keyframe down here that's not going to do anything but extend the time of my animation. So you see that brought it up to like 3.5 something seconds. And the way mine-imator works, I don't really think these timings right here, the seconds actually translate one-to-one in a video editor. I think it may have something to do with the tempo, kind of adjusting the timing of the project or something. I'm not 100% sure why that is, but in my experience, I haven't really looked into it in depth, but sometimes the timing seems a little off in my video editor versus what mine-imator shows. But in any case, if these frames kind of don't mean anything to you and you want to know like generally how long a shot is lasting, well, I can scrub through this, and let's just say if I want this sequence here when the camera pans to the sword, if I want that to last 3 seconds, well then I can grab my keyframes here, and I can bring this out and just watch the top number up there as it counts upwards, and right there is about 3 seconds. So what I can pretty much assume then is when I play this shot is going to take 3 seconds to do that, and then I can do that with each keyframe. The farther out I put it, then the longer that's going to take. And this is 6 seconds, so thus if this one's at 3, then I have 3 seconds for this shot, and then once it gets there, it'll linger for 3 seconds, and then we're going to cut, and then we have that, and then I have all this time here of this still frame to do my fade out in my video editor, if I want to do that. It's just whatever. Like sometimes you may render an animation and your last keyframe is the last movement, and then the animation just ends, and you don't have any of that time to linger afterwards to fade out music or to do a visual fade or any kind of like text you may want to come up over the screen, and the animation will just cut off. So that's a way that you can kind of get some lingering time on the end of your animation and things like that. That's pretty much it. I'm hoping to do a more advanced tutorial on timing. That's just kind of a basic overview. There's really not a lot to know other than what I said, but I'm going to try to scrounge up some tips and see if I can make a more in-depth tutorial on timing. But anyway, I think that'll help you guys a lot if you use those techniques and features. But that's it. So once again, thanks for all the great submission, guys. We're already getting pretty good start on the blood tutorial compilation, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys were inspired and can help each other and give tips and things like that. But otherwise, I'm out. So I'll see you guys next week.